about that a lot though, about like what were you doing before all this came about? Like everybody is streaming. Yeah, everybody.
You are learning our worth, and y'all are scared. So scared that the last thing y'all could do is put in law.
On mute, but I was holding still because my face always tells a whole story, so I was trying to act like I was frozen, but I'm really not. It's okay. So yes.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Besties Building Brand Podcast. We have a special show today. We are talking to a couple of my favorite little people, the youth. There's so much negativity going on in the world. And I have the pleasure of knowing some really dope and awesome kids who are out here doing some positive things. We're just going to discuss, what it's like being Gen Z. I believe that's what you guys are called. We want to discuss what it's like being a Gen Zer, and just get into some conversation about it. So we have Aaliyah, we have Jabril, Olivia, we have my awesome co-host, Miss Crystal, we have Nyla, and Musa, who's trying to get on. So hopefully he can join us. If not, we'll be conversing with him through the chat. So like I said, I just wanted to just talk about some things that you don't usually talk about. You guys are lucky to be able to have a good relationship with your parents and feel comfortable talking to them about different things, but a lot of people don't have that luxury. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what makes you feel comfortable sharing certain things with your parents, and do your friends have the same type of relationship with their mom or dad? Anybody can go. If not, I'm calling somebody. Okay, Aaliyah. Oh, go ahead, Jabril.
I was gonna say it depends on past things. Like if you try to open up to them and they're accepting, so the more accepting the parent is, then the more likely that you'll want to share things with them, and that's a stronger connection. But I don't think a lot of kids have the same connection that I have with my parents, because I have both my parents. I have my mom, and my dad been married since I was born. A lot of people don't have married parents. I don't think that's a normal thing. And also, I don't think a lot of people are able to talk to their parents the same way I talk to my parents. I don't think that their connection is there either. You hear me okay?
Aaliyah, did you want to say something? Answer that.
I feel like the reason why I am close to my parent, because I'm not really close to my dad at all, but I'm close to my mom and my stepdad. And I feel like it's because they are open and real with me about a lot of stuff. So I feel like I can be open and real with them about a lot of things. And I don't know, I feel like it's very genuine and they're not judgmental. And I also feel like a lot of people's parents aren't close to them because of, like, I guess, like a communication barrier for the most part. Like they don't really communicate. And that's about it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. That makes a lot of sense. Olivia, do you have a close relationship with your parents, and why do you think that is?
I have a very close relationship with my parents, mainly because I want to say my parents like to be involved in my life a lot. So they like to, especially my mom, they like to ask questions, like what I'm doing, where am I, like who my friends are and everything. And I feel like I'm comfortable enough to tell her those, like to answer her questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I can trust her with it. Yeah, I'm done though.
No, trust. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. A lot of people don't trust their parents. If you tell your parents something, you think that they'll go and say something to somebody else or tell the whole family. So I get that. Nala, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I agree with everything that everybody said.
Now, what about your friends though? Do they, like, I know Jabril was saying that a lot of his friends don't have two-parent households. Do you find that, your friends that don't have a two-parent household, that they have a hard time communicating with their parents?
Yeah, I do. Cause I be having conversation with my friends sometimes, and they don't be understanding what I say, or they don't connect with me because I have my two parents, so they don't really understand what I be saying or what I talk about.
Yeah. Do you think that affects friendships? Anybody can answer that question. Do you think that affects the friends that you have?
Having a two-parent household.
Yeah, like if you're, for example, if you want to do something or you're having an issue and you're talking to them about whatever is going on and how your parents handle it, do you think your friends are envious of that in a way, or they don't care, it
No,
doesn't matter? Okay.
not in my experience. I don't think it matters that much. As long as you respect, like, everybody's situation is different, then I don't think it would matter that much.
Okay. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about um, social media. Um, and so somebody made a comment. I don't understand how kids get bullied on social media. You could just log off. And that's kind of something that, my age group and up, like, we don't understand it. We got bullied really bad. Some of us did. And, we always say that the kids are soft because we dealt with X, Y, and Z, and you guys can't, handle the heat. So can you explain, like, how is being bullied on social media even a thing? Like, you could just not be on social media and not get bullied. Anybody?
I think it's like real life. Like, if somebody bullying you to your face, are you just gonna walk away? It's like, if I log off, then you lose. It's like, you want to protect yourself, yeah, but you also want to protect your pride. And if you have an image, then just because somebody's bullying you, you don't want to just, be like, you got it, and just walk away. It's like, people want to protect what they represent. So it's not as easy as just logging off. Especially now when social media is like centered around your life, and people want these presents up. Like, people want their presence up. People want an image, so you can't just walk away, even if you get bullied.
Aaliyah?
I agree. I feel like it's kind of just like real life. Like if somebody were to say those things to you in real life, you still would feel some type of way. It's just, different because it's online, but not really to me. Like I feel like if somebody were to say something to me, but I guess it really just depends on the person. Cause like for me, if somebody were to say something like rude about me, I wouldn't really be like, I'd probably just log off. But other people might take it to heart and feel some type of way. It just depends on the person and what they say.
Nala or Olivia, do you have a comment for that?
I
I
would
want
say for that, like, I feel like some people would probably like not log off because it would show the bully that they're winning. So they would probably stay on social media to show the bully that what they're saying and what they're doing doesn't affect them. But then again, it's also like in real life because some people will retaliate back depending on what they say.
True. And some people don't. Some people will retaliate in person, and some people, wouldn't. So yeah, that makes sense. Nala, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna say for some people it's automatic to clap back to certain people because that's just how they were raised or that's how they grew up to fight back for themselves.
Have you logged off or walked away from a bully? Naima said. Question from the audience. Have any of you experienced bullying in a way?
No.
I was bullied in second grade by a girl
Second
that was
grade?
older than me. In second grade, yeah.
Oh no.
I
Well,
don't
that don't
remember
count.
like everything that was happening, but that was it though.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Go
I
ahead.
was bullied for a little bit when I was in middle school, but that was because I was dark skinned and I was getting bullied by dark skinned people, which didn't make any sense. So I mean, but like I didn't just walk away. Like I feel like I just was rude to them back, and then I just started being rude to like everybody, which wasn't the solution, but that's just what I did. So, and then like if people would say something online, I'd say something back. But yeah.
I feel like like I said, a lot of times we just don't understand. Parents don't understand. You know, every generation has that kind of barrier. So one thing I was telling Aaliyah about was somebody was saying, you know, they were talking about how kids are depressed, right? And you go to your mom or your parents and you tell them you're depressed, and they're like, depressed? Why would you be depressed? You have food, I buy you all the clothes, you know, you get to go out and hang with your friends. Why are you depressed? Like, you don't have anything to be upset about, you don't have anything to be sad about. And you know, a lot of children are experiencing depression, especially now. COVID has everybody stuck in the house, you're away from your friends. And we don't understand it because we think you should be cool. Like, we're doing everything we can to make sure you're cool, and you're not. So I do want to talk about that and just hear from your point of view. If your parents are giving you everything that they possibly can to ensure that you're happy, what the heck are you still upset about? And if you
I
can't
think
speak to
that's
your own
funny.
experience, you can definitely comment about somebody else's if you know.
I saw a post like that. It was like, parents are like, you literally sleep in a bed. Like, why can you be sad? It's funny that it's like that. It's like there's more to it, and I feel like parents will take it offensive or will take it different. Not offensive, but they'll take offense to it because it's like a pride. Like, if my child isn't happy, then it's my fault. But I think it goes beyond parenting. Like, kids still have lives around like school, like you said, like they could be getting bullied, they could be having other relationship issues with their friends or with partners or dating, or like the expectations they might not be meeting in school or whatever. Like, it's other things that can make them depressed or fall behind, or just their mental. Like, it could just be a biological thing, like they're just not okay. But a lot of times, especially in our communities, we don't give it that kind of recognition. It's like you said, like, if we're providing this, then there is no way for you to be upset, but that's not always the case, I think.
I agree with everything that Jabril said. I also feel like um it's not like, okay, like, yeah, like especially in our community, like we don't always have the support to back us when in situations like that. Like us, we have like our supportive parents, but not everybody has that, or like has a cousin or aunt that they could go and talk to about situations. So when it gets to its worst and the parents are just now figuring out about it because they didn't feel comfortable talking about it, then they're like, well, what's going on? But it's probably been something that's been building up over time. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Olivia?
it's worse for. I'm sorry.
Olivia, did you want to chime in real quick and we'll swing back to
I
Jabril?
mean, I actually like do really agree with that because like people may have like everything they think that would make them happy, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Like having someone to actually be there to listen to why you're depressed could always help, which is why I believe some people go to get therapy. But when they don't have something like that, the depression can grow, which would cause them to not be happy that they're in a house or they're in a warm bed or they have food to eat.
Good point. Jabril, what were you saying?
I was saying, like, it's worse too because of the disconnect now. Like, I feel like parents and kids today, like like modern, like with TikTok and all these trends going on, I feel like it's worse because the parents really don't understand, and they won't, like, and a lot of times they're dismissive of the newer things that's going on in kids today. So it's like what we were talking about in the beginning is I'm not comfortable even speaking to you. So how, if I don't have an outlet, how can I, cure my depression? And that's a big factor too. So, and a lot of parents aren't willing to really change how they parent. It's like they're always going to be right regardless. I feel like that's a big issue too. So yeah, I feel like with newer things, like, it's a bigger disconnect.
And you said parents feel like they're going to be right regardless.
Right. It's more so of being so stuck in a way. Like our or my generation growing up is so much different than even my sisters, and she's 20, and then going back and back and back. My parents are 40, so it's all gonna be things that in their generation that they'll tell me, I'm like, that makes no sense, and then vice versa, things in my generation that happen, they don't make sense. It doesn't make sense to them.
Hmm. Naima said, this is why the village and the elders have to listen to the youth and give them a voice. There has to be a go-to person or people for our babies. Excuse me. We have a question about bullying, so I want to jump back over there real quick, make sure we answer that question. Have you witnessed someone being bullied, and what did you do?
No, I have not. So, yeah.
Anybody? Has anybody witnessed anything like that?
I've never witnessed anyone being bullied, but my friends, certain friends will come to me for comfort because they would hear people like talking behind their back. So I've never witnessed it, but I do know that sometimes it can happen, and sometimes I like to be there for them so that way they have someone to listen to if they can't go to their parents.
It seems like that's the common theme, just needing somebody to listen to be non-judgmental, somebody that you can trust. Crystal, did you have a question? Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was siblings. So something else I've seen is that, when you're the older sibling, you get treated one way, but then here comes the baby of the family, and mom used to throw the shoe at me and beat me with the broomstick. So whatever you guys exaggerate and say, it's like, no, I won't say exaggerate, but then here comes the baby, and now you feel as though they're not being treated the same. Have you ever experienced that? Nala, Olivia, I know it's just you two there. So Nala, I'm not trying to, I got the older ones on here. So Nala is the baby, so you don't have to answer. But for the the other three that are older siblings, just speak to that experience a little bit if you can, or how you feel about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if my mom is watching this, but it's crazy. Even from Musa, like Musa is the second to youngest. Even how he was brought up is different than how I was brought up. And yeah, what is that? I don't even know why it's like that, because I have so many friends that it's like that too. I don't even know.
But when you say brought up differently, what do you mean?
In terms of now, it might be just because Aya was a better kid, maybe. But the way she was like disciplined growing up, or like a lot of things that she got away with, we wouldn't have been able to get away with. So I don't know what that is. I feel like, I don't know. My older sister, she oh my God, I would not want to be her. But my little sister got away with so many things. So yeah, I can agree. I always felt that. I would look at I like, dang, like my mom would have took this slide off and just I don't know.
Go ahead, Leah.
I feel that 1000%. I feel like it is completely different from my younger siblings. Like, I feel like when I was growing up, it was definitely more stricter in the house. Like, my mom used to check my phone. I used to have to turn my phone off at a certain time. I had to fake sleep when she came in the room and all that. Let it be up till like 2:00 doing whatever. I just feel like it's crazy. Like, but at the same time, I do feel like it is better for them to like not have that. What's the word? Like such a strict like bringing up, because like I wish that they weren't that hard on me, but I feel like it's better for my siblings. But then at the same time, I still be like, no, you definitely should not have gotten away with that one right there. Like, I would have got beat and thrown down some steps, something crazy for that right there.
Wow, throw down the steps though? Wow.
But yeah.
Olivia, now let's stop smirking over there, okay? Because you the baby, okay?
So it is different for me. I've never really experienced that. But I want to say it's probably based on like the personality of the child, because I know based on my experience, I didn't have that strict of an upbringing, but it was also still strict. And it's a little different for Nala right now. So I want to say it's like based on the child's personality and how they're acting while they're being raised.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask Crystal because she's a mom. Her babies were supposed to be on here, but just speaking from a mom point of view, not particular to any kid on this show right now. But what I will say is it definitely does have a lot to do with the child and their personality and what they're doing. If your oldest child was, an angel, and then you have a second child who's the leader of a gang, well, then that child, and this is a real life experience. I'm not going to call anybody out. You feel what I'm saying? But if you're the leader of a gang at school, you know what I'm saying? A girl gang, right? Then, some shoes might need to get thrown. You know what I'm saying? But I can also admit and attest to the fact that sometimes when you get down to the last one, it's just like, get a baby a cookie because I don't feel like hearing a crying. So they do get a little bit more leeway, but it does have a lot to do with the kid. But I'll let Crystal chime in from another parent point of view. And parents, if you're listening, you can definitely leave a comment to speak to that. Why are you treating the babies like that?
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. When you have older children, and it does depend on the child and their temperament and what they're doing. I didn't have a gang leader, but I did have a drama queen. She's still a drama queen, and each child is different. And the things that she was able to do that the other ones aren't able to do was, it also depended on the child too. And when you have multiple children, parents, I be tired. I don't feel like it. If they want to jump off the roof, all right. I'll take you to the hospital when you're done acting crazy, So
look, or your older brother or sister can take you because they're older now, so you don't have to do anything.
Right.
Yeah, so I just want to, we hear it, but it definitely has a lot to do with the child. So do a self inventory. Ask yourself, was I the leader of the gang? Should how I've been treated differently?
Can I say something else?
Yes.
I also feel like my parents. Well, I feel like weren't we all born around the same time? So some of our parents were younger and they were figuring it out with our older sibling. Then when they got to us, they still was kind of figuring it out. So by the time they got to the third one, they probably was all right, so now I got it. So now I don't have to do this and I don't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said to you guys a few times, it's really no manual to parenting. You either try to do everything opposite what your mom and dad did, or you try to do what they did, depending on how you felt, you were raised. So sometimes, it's to a fault. You got to give us some slack there. And I wanted to go back to depression for a minute and just ask, why do you think so many people are depressed? And not just bullying. A lot of you guys are going through depression. We were seeing a lot of suicides happening. Why is that? And what do you think, we can do? Not even just as parents, or are there some programs that you feel like could be put in place or something that could be done? You got your generation and the ones younger than you are just sad and miserable all the time. And I don't know why.
Can I just say, as a parent, I feel like it's the climate. I feel like there's I feel like, for me personally, when I look at it, I feel like the world, social media, parents included, and some parents especially, are not letting the children be children. They're growing up too fast and not able to experience a true childhood. They're not able to experience child things. Especially if you're living in the inner city, you got gunshots, you got domestic violence, you got drug use, and they have to grow up fast. They no longer have the luxury that I had when I was growing up. I can ride my bike around all over Philly. I could go get a tasty cake for $0.25. I could go get a hug. We could run around and play. And I just feel like, and because of that, and what Jabril has said about certain parents being so dismissive of their feelings, that we just tend to overlook that, the kids are really suffering. They don't have an outlet to say, I'm sad and depressed because my friend's friend just passed away. I'm sad and depressed, or I'm sad because I can't ride my bike, or we're not having any. I can only go to the step and things like that. I just feel like that is the reason why a lot of our youth are depressed, because they had to grow up so fast and not able to experience, being a little kid. And they have all these hormones and all these expectations, like, you're 10, you're supposed to know this. Like, how am I supposed to know this? I'm only 10. you know or when they're young teenagers, like, you're 15, you should know better. Well, not really.
Mhm.
That's just me as a parent chiming in as to why I think our youth are so depressed at this moment.
Jabril, you were about to say something. You're on mute. Jabril, Aaliyah. I thought somebody was about to say something.
I could say something, but I didn't have anything up here. But I was gonna say, not to be dismissive of the kids, but I feel like a lot of it is the climate in terms of the music and how social media is. Like, if I see somebody sad and they're getting a lot of support, then I know that if I were to be sad, hypothetically, then I know, like, if I was open up to people, then I can get the same thing. So I feel like it's a domino effect. And it's a lot of rappers, like emo rappers, I know. I think music plays a lot of part to it. Like, if you hear, like, oh, I'm sad, I'm crying, then you'll be more, your heart will be more tied to people than that way too. So I feel like it's almost like depression is a trend. I see it a lot. Like, you go on TikTok and people are promoting depression as almost like a lifestyle, or that's how they live by. Like, I see that on social media. So, like I'm saying, not to be dismissive, but I feel like that's a lot of it too. It's more of it being socially acceptable, so it is. It's like, if you give people the foot, then you get a mile. Like, if you say, like, depression is okay, then a lot of people are going to be depressed and are going to be openly depressed. That's how I feel.
Olivia?
I was gonna say, like, maybe it could also be like what's been going on like the past year. I want to say, like, everything that was going on last year, COVID, George Floyd, everything that's been going on that's happened, the riots and everything. And then a lot of the kids were like, either the TV promised them that 2021 was going to be the year where everything changes, everything goes back to normal, and then they find out that everything's starting to get a lot worse. Like with COVID, the cases are going back up, masks are having to be a requirement again. So they're probably just like depressed because they were promised that everything was going to go back to normal, and like they miss how everything used to be before COVID happened.
Nyla?
I agree with everything, but it could also be like the household they live in, because like you never know when you leave your friend and they go home. You never know how they live or what they got to go through in their house. So you never know if their parents care, or if their parents are toxic, or if they had to grow up by themselves because their parents never really gave them the attention they needed or wanted. So it could be a lot of different things, a mix of different things that nobody can really understand but them.
Aaliyah?
I agree with everything that everyone said. I also feel like people just need somebody to talk to. Like, all these issues, but I don't want to say we, but like, a lot of people don't feel like they have somebody to talk to. And I feel like, especially once you let it out, you'll feel better. But I don't know, like, I feel like it's a lack of support. And I feel like a lot of people are depressed because of music, like Jabril said. Like, a lot of music is not promoting, like, what it should promote. And also, like Olivia said, this last year with like COVID, and we think it is going to get better. There's been a lot of gun violence that I've been seeing a lot lately, like around here. A lot of my friends are passing away. A lot of family members, friends, and all that. And it's just crazy. Like, it's just a lot going on. And I feel like because I was younger, I didn't realize all the stuff that was going on before. So now that we older and we actually looking at it and we like, wow, this is crazy. Like, we didn't realize this when we were younger. So now that we're older, we actually processing it, and it's getting to us.
You guys are making some really great points. Missy said they're overly exposed to a lot of doom and gloom with promises unfulfilled and lack of how to cope. And I do want to go back, since y'all was trying to come at the parents real quick. Yes, the character of the child determines the limits given per child. Unfortunately, ours is in reverse. The second child is gang gang. So I ain't going to call out who that person is referring to. And then Jabril was treated like the golden child. So your mom don't know what you're talking about, Jabril. And so my next question is, like you kind of hinted to it already, is about the music. If you guys know that, and I don't know what music you listen to, so I'm not just going to assume, but if you guys know that the music is, affecting your mood and doom and gloom, it's almost like if you know that the music is causing, and social media is causing so much of the problems that you guys experience or see, why are you guys on social media and why do you listen to what you listen to? Like the TikTok trends. Like, why are you guys doing the want to be a part? And this may not be, I don't know if Jabril and Aaliyah, because you guys are a little older, but doing the TikTok dances and, just being a part of that when we know that it's not necessarily the best thing.
I think for a lot of people, they want a sense of belonging or like a group that they can connect to or like hang with, or like they post stuff so that they can get interactions from other people and meet friends and stuff like that. And I think social media is like a big thing now, so it's easier said than done to just not be on social media, because we were brought up with social media, so it's like a big part of our lives now. For like, it's crazy, but it just is. Like, I don't think I could go a day without my phone. And if I had to, and it's not even like I'm on TikTok all the time or I'm on Instagram all the time. I just feel comfortable with my phone. Like, it's like a comfort type thing. Like, we're comfortable with it. We're comfortable with social media. And I don't know. It's just something that we're used to. We're accustomed to it now. Oh, and
but
I don't really listen to a lot of music that's out right now. But I mean, I listen to a lot of older music. I listen to like the 80s, 90s, type music. I personally like it better, but there are some songs that I like now. They're catchy, but like sometimes, like when you listen to the lyrics, you be like, "Hold up, did they just?" And then it make you think like, "I shouldn't be listening to this." But the songs be catchy, so like that's how they get people. Like, they like the beat, they like the hook, they gonna listen to it.
Okay. Olivia, Nala?
I would say some people who are like experiencing like or in like a bad mood or experiencing depression, some people find comfort in the music they listen to, especially like back when Nala said, when you don't know what kind of household they're being raised in or if their parents are ever really there for them, some people turn to music because that can be like their form of comfort. It makes them like feel like the song is for them, or like the person who made the song knows what they're going through. And for the social media part, that also could be like a form of comfort, because people could like find other people that like what they're doing, and compared to the people that they're around that don't support what they're doing. So that could also be like another form of comfort.
The caliber of youth right here. Thanks for being you. We are proud. Yeah, we got some good kids on today. So I have one more question, and then you guys, well, I have two more questions. So the next question is, do you feel like you guys, I understand that it may be a form of comfort for them, but do you feel like there's too much exposure right now with social media, especially for like the kids right under you, like Nala's age and below? Do you feel like it's too much exposure, like they're getting too much too fast, from the popping pills to the sex to the sexuality to all that? Do you feel like it's too much, or do you feel like because maybe your parents' generation weren't exposed to it earlier, something kind of was missing there, like it's a disconnect, so you feel like they need that information, or do you feel like it's a good or a bad thing? that they have access to everything.
Can I say both?
Mhm.
I feel like it's both. Like, for example, like George Floyd's daughter, like I'm sure she's seen, or their family has seen all the kids, little cousins, like him dying like multiple times. So that's something that people in your generation or my mom's or my grandparents would have never seen. So a kid can look up 10 years old, 9 years old and see drugs, murder, all the horrific things of humanity they can just see with one click. So even outside of just the music, which is bad too, it's the news, it's social media, it's everything, and it's like Leo was saying, like you can't just close your eyes or close your ears to it. So I feel like that makes it hard too.
It's kind of like it seems like you guys are desensitized to death and a lot of things that
Yeah.
are going on. Like I seen people laughing. The guy who I think he had like a video or something like talking about how he didn't want to get the vaccine, and then he ended up getting COVID and then dying. I mean, that's what they said. We don't know because the media can say whatever they want to say. But people under the comments, and these were little kids too, because I clicked on their page, were like, that's what he gets, and laughing. But at the end of the day, a person died. Somebody's brother, father passed away. But it's like you guys see it so much. I feel like it, in a way, it's desensitizing you guys to the fact that this is a person's life, and people matter. Aaliyah, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I agree with what you just said. And also I feel like I feel like it's both. I feel like at the speed at which they're learning everything and seeing everything in the media probably should be gradually rather than it all being put out there on TikTok right away. They know about sex, they know about this, they know about that. And I feel like when I was growing up, I didn't know about a lot of this stuff. But then to a certain extent, some of the stuff I was like, well, I wish I would have learned this when I was younger. But I mean, I turned out all right without knowing it. So, I mean, like, I feel
y'all,
like,
y'all
go ahead.
all are good. Y'all all are good kids. So
Yeah, I don't
the
know. I
jury
think
is out
TikTok,
on these younger ones. So we'll see.
social media just plays a big role in like
Yeah,
what's going on with the youth. So,
yeah. Olivia.
I do agree saying that it's also both, because especially if like the parents are buying their children a phone at like the age of 10 when they don't
Mm-hmm.
really be needing a cell phone until like maybe after 8th grade, because that's when I got my phone. I didn't get mine until after I graduated 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So it could also be on the parents too for giving their kids phones at a very young age, but it could
Mm-hmm.
also be like what apps they let them download at that age.
Mm-hmm. Plow Living LLC said there is no control anymore. Women and children are no longer protected. That's true. Nala, did you have a comment?
No, I don't really got a comment.
So, if you had any superpower, what would it be, and why?
I want to be able to read people's minds.
Why?
I don't know. It's just I want to know what they think before I walk up to them, or like I want to know what they think when I'm walking past them. But then again, that's bad because then I might put myself in a situation where I gotta fight somebody, or I don't know.
Because now you know the security codes, and you're gonna be trying to rob the banks and stuff. Who's next? Olivia, superpower.
I don't know. That's a good question. I would probably say the ability to be able to fly,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because I feel like being like up in the sky would probably keep you like away from any kind of drama that's going on or any kind of violence that's happening. You could just like chill in the
Yeah,
air.
just be gone. They start
Yeah.
fighting, you just fly off. Got you. Jabril.
I was gonna say flying too for the exact same reason, but I'm gonna say teleportation because it's the same way. Like if something's happening, I just go away.
And just be gone. Okay, Aaliyah.
I feel like I was gonna say teleportation, but I'm gonna change it to like super speed because like I could just be out
Y'all
and
just
then
trying to get some drama.
back real quick.
Okay. She said, "See, gang, gang." Right now, we're trying to fight people. All right, so we didn't do it at the beginning of the show, so we're going to do our this or that real quick, and then I just want to thank you guys so much for being on the show and giving us some insight. We definitely have to do it again. So this or that, you just say the first answer that you feel like relates to you. All right, y'all ready? Everybody off mute so you can answer fast. All right, iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Android.
Netflix or
Oh,
Hulu?
y'all.
Hulu.
Netflix,
Netflix.
Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok.
Instagram,
Instagram.
Um, Basketball or football if you like
Basketball.
sports?
Basketball.
football,
You like male singers or female singers?
Both. Can we pick
Female
both?
singers.
female.
Yeah, female singers.
Female.
Yeah.
Okay, female. Yeah, female. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's it. Thank you guys for joining us. Anybody have any last comments, some type of encouragement you want to throw out there for the people that are watching that don't have, this type of background that you guys have? I keep repeating it, saying that you guys are truly blessed. A lot of people don't have the type of household that you have. Any type last word of encouragement? I know somebody has something to say to the people.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I want to say don't listen to the trend
Mhm.
because I feel like
Yeah.
everything that we talked about today can go back to the trend. Like social media, being sad, all of this is just you having permission to do it, but you can, you can change how you think. You can change your surroundings to be conducive to what you want to, go out and live and do. So
Anybody else?
I say if you going out somewhere by yourself or with your friends, just pay attention to your surroundings. It could really like help you.
Nala?
Oh, I don't got nothing.
Yes, you do. Be ready to fight at all times. What you want to say? Your mom said you gang gang.
No, I'm not. Interviews, but
That's a lie. She is gang gang.
No, I'm not. Okay. I guess I could say don't put your mind and your soul into social media because it could really mess your life up, or you could really get into something that you don't want to get into, and then you don't got away, or you can't get out of it.
That's a good one. And last but not least, Aaliyah.
Well, it's something my mom always told me is that you can always leave, no matter where you at, no matter what you're doing. You can always come home. If you feel uncomfortable, somebody making you feel uncomfortable, somebody saying something you don't like, you can leave right there in a second, in a minute, right in that moment. You don't have to stay just to make somebody feel better, or just because you don't want your image to be different. Always protect yourself and your peace. You know what I'm saying? And that's it.
And call me. Everybody on here, you can call me. You can call Naima. You can call Kim. We're coming. So it doesn't matter what the situation is, okay? All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining the show.